If you're a fight fan, you've got to love this.
Live and free on Paramount Network. Tonight, Bellator's bantamweight world title is on the line when Juan the Spaniard Archuleta battles undefeated phenom Patchy Mix. Bellator MMA, live tonight at 10 on Paramount Network.
It is the nightcap of our double-header weekend at our home, away from home. We are right back inside the Mohegan Sun Arena. 3 great preliminary matchups before we go live later tonight on Paramount Network, our main event. The battle for bantamweight gold between Juan Archuleta and Patchy Mix. Also on the card, Liz Carmouche makes her long-awaited Bellator debut. Campos and Diggs, they had some opponent changes, but they're excited to battle inside the Bellator cage, and John Fitch will face off with Neiman Gracie. We get started in the heavyweight division. The Jamaican Shamrock, Raz Hilton, is back. His opponent, Davian Franklin.
This was Davion Franklin against J.W. Kaiser. Just manhandles the ground. Look at the power on the shots. Big, heavy shots till he grinds him out. A huge, strong man with a big reach of 80 inches. Raz Hilton against Rudy Shafroth. He put on a show, man. He in and out, good footwork. With really big feet, he won that, no doubt about it, and proved himself a worthy heavyweight challenger.
On 3 days' notice, our tail of the tape for this heavyweight fight, Franklin and Hilton.
You can look at those reaches. Those are 2 guys that can almost touch you from across the cage.
I'm thinking somebody might just get knocked out.
Maybe.
Here is the voice, Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to Mohegan Sun Arena as we get set now for the prelims tonight here at Bellator 246. We get things started with 3 5-minute rounds in the heavyweight division. Introducing the blue corner at 6'6", weighing in 245.5 pounds. Back in the Bellator cage, he stands with 6 professional victories, 4 defeats. Fighting out of South Portland, Maine, Rasquatch, the Jamaican Shamrock, Raz Hilton.
Got this, Raz. Keep that left up.
And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 6'3", weighing in 264.7 pounds. Coming off a successful professional debut, he enters tonight with 1 professional victories, no defeat. He hails from Albuquerque, New Mexico. All day, Davion Franklin. In charge, your referee, Dan Mergliano.
Dan Mergliata, our referee for this heavyweight fight. Mike Goldberg, Big John McCarthy, Josh Thompson, Jim Brown, Chael P.
Okay,
Sutton.
round 1. You ready, sir? You ready, sir?
Davion Franklin, Raz Hilton. We are underway. Tonight's fight clock brought to you by Geico. Franklin in the red gloves, Hilton in the blue gloves.
I wonder if that's really his footprint across his back.
No, that footprint there's too small.
Yeah, that's the Rasquatch.
Yeah, that is. It's obvious that Raz Hilton has watched Davion. Look at that right hand staying up towards that chin. He knows he's got a big left hook.
That kick to the ribcage landed. Boom! That is a takedown. Heavy ground and pound.
Raz right back to his knees. That's very impressive for such a big guy to get back up to his knees right away, come up on the underhook.
Especially off a slam like that, because you know that ground hurts. Takes the air out of you. Nice job by Raz Hilton to get this back on his feet.
In a year in which many of us have been kind of at a pace much slower than normal, this is the 4th fight of 2020 for Raz Hilton.
Stay loose, stay loose.
When you're in shape and you have the ability to stay busy, those are the best things. That's how you grow the most in your career.
Stay loose. There you go. Put a little pressure now. Put a little pressure.
Rad said he was elated to get a win over a tough opponent regardless of the circumstances. Here a couple of weeks ago on 3 days' notice, that fight against Rudy Shafroff.
Everything that Davion Franklin does has bad intentions attached to it.
John, also when you say that, though, bad intentions tend to slow down, though, as the fight goes on, because you're throwing everything with every little bit of energy you have.
Absolutely. You can hear his corner telling him, slow down, relax, because you can tell he is putting everything into this right now. As far as when he has emotion, he throws a kick, he throws a punch, he picks him up for a slam. It's everything he has doing it.
Well, this is the longest fight of his professional career, guys.
But this is his second fight.
Yeah. Well, the first one lasted 1 minute and 40 seconds.
We've seen Raz, though, when he fought Shafroth. He stays in there. He starts putting a game plan together. He does good stuff, starts picking you apart, using the reach and the range.
Nice job of getting that foot in for that inside trip. Raz did a great job actually stepping over it. Pretty impressive.
But John, I'm encouraged by the big slams, but it's a lot of energy used as the fight goes on. It starts to concern me because when you're 1-0, you had a dominant first performance. Have you been reading your own media? Have you been thinking about, like, I'm going to get this guy out of here? And it's a common mistake to happen. Unfortunately, I got to say it happened to me one time in my career.
There's a lot to learn in this game.
That is some heavy ground and pound. Davion Franklin, the second recipient of the Jackson Wink Scholarship Program.
Right into mount for Raz Hilton. This is the whole thing that Raz did when he fought Rudy Shafroth. He put up with some abuse. He put up with some big shots and just kept coming forward, remaining calm, and when he got his chance, just like he's in mount right now.
He's got the grapevine down there with the mount, so that's keeping Franklin from hipping him over, trying to bridge him over. Very nicely done by Raz.
And he's doing a good job with his hips, keeping that arch in his back so Davion can't grab and pull him down into him to try to slow him down with his shots.
He's got 1:20 left in the round. You hear Raz's corner yelling at him, you got plenty of time, just take your time, pick and choose your shots, do the work.
Raz wants us to give a shout out to his younger brother Leo, so we just did.
I guess we did.
Yes, we did. Very good. Very nicely done, Goldie.
Thank you.
That's your compliment for today.
That's it.
That's all.
Get it out of the way early.
Raz just made a simple mistake right there. He did have what we would call a Turk in wrestling. One hook in, but he got himself, those hips need to be lined up.
Got to kick him back and get back to his feet.
40 seconds. Franklin said, I'm not here to compete, I'm here to dominate. Hilton said this will be a fast, exciting eruption of violence.
Let's go, hands up.
Davion Franklin is tired.
Exhausted.
He is tired. Those arms right now are heavy. He's breathing hard, and he's got a guy that's now starting to walk towards him.
If I was Raz's corner, I'd be yelling at him, push the pace. That doesn't mean you have to throw anything careless and reckless, but get in his face and make him back up, make him feel pressure.
Just make him feel tense.
Know what he's looking for. 5 seconds, finish strong.
Break.
This is going to feel like the shortest 60 seconds of Davion Franklin's life.
It was from an overhand right, legal shot.
They're trying to clean you up, though. If you sit down, they might be able to get it better.
Here's the shot right here. Nice kick to the body by Davion.
Looking good out there, Raz. You had that round on the ground. You had that round on the ground. You know you can beat him on the ground.
Side kick right there. That's the hand right there. That right hand is what caused that cut just above the eye on the forehead of Raz Hilton.
Raz Hilton is 6'6". He got that foot all the way up to his face. Very nice.
Franklin played football and wrestled in college. Played defensive end, running back,
The other guy
and
really
middle linebacker.
I told the other guy to
Look at him, you can see why. There's Greg Jackson, one of the best in the business for a very long time.
I don't know how long he lasts. But okay, thank you. Seconds out, gentlemen.
Patchy Mix, coming from that same great gym in Albuquerque, New Mexico, will battle Juan Archuleta for the Bantamweight World Championship later tonight. Live on Paramount Network in our main
All right, gentlemen, round 2, let's go.
Round 2. Red gloves for Franklin, blue gloves for Hilton. So, Josh, you want to apply pressure but not get careless.
Yeah, you don't want to get careless. You don't want to leave yourself defensively out of position. But I also I haven't seen Raz use a lot of his kicks that he used against Rudy Shafroth. I want to see him just touch the inside leg a little bit, inside leg kick, outside leg kick, do things like that. Use the reach and the range that he has.
He did a nice job of controlling distance in his Bellator debut just a few weeks ago.
I like what he's doing. He just got to give a little bit more feints, but then also throw.
Fatigue is a horrible feeling when you're in the middle of a fight, and you can see just by the actions and movements of Davion Franklin, he is tired.
John, it's disgusting to feel exhausted in there.
Oh, it's horrible.
Absolutely disgusting. It's like, man, why didn't I train more? Or just that, or like, why didn't I fight a better pace? Like, you can say that as well.
Raz Hilton, a second-degree black belt in Shotokan Karate, said, I'm getting better at pulling the trigger more. Flowing through my techniques is my path to victory tonight. Let's see if he starts to put some stuff together here.
You can just look, if you watch the footwork of Davion Franklin, look at, he's flat-footed first, but he's also bringing his feet together. He's doing all kinds of things that can cause him a lot of problems.
What I don't like is that he's looking away at times.
He's looking towards his corner.
Well, he attempted some type of spin, then ended up getting clipped because of it.
And if you look, Mike, how many offensive techniques have you seen Davion do in this round? This is the most offensive thing he's done now with almost 2 minutes gone in the round.
1.
There you go. Good. You count well.
Come on, fire.
But this right here is where you mature as a fighter, though. This is where he understands that, look, I'm tired. I'm in a dominant position. Let me just hold the far side underhook.
Exactly.
Make sure that he can't get back to his feet. Let me just count down some seconds, get my breath.
So he just lost that far side underhook, and that's how Raz Hill can get himself back to his feet.
Come on, guys, you need to work. You got to work position.
I think Franklin's okay with just being here for a second.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Right now, he's just like, how do I stay down here and not have the referee stand me up and get my breath back?
Raz has that far right underhook. You just got to keep circling his hips out on that side. If he does that, he can come up on that single leg. He starts opening the heel as well with the right leg. Looks like he's trying to work himself back to guard. I'm not a big fan of that because we've seen Franklin has very nasty ground and pound.
Damon, you got to work. You want that position. You got to stay there. Come on, you got to work.
Referee Dan Miragalata warning that he's got to do something. He's got to work if he wants to stay in the position. And I can tell you right now, inside Davion Franklin's mind, he goes, I am working, Dan.
John, I was thinking the exact same thing.
You guys got to work.
Like, Dan, like, you know,
I am working.
How about a little dose of just be quiet a little bit?
There you go.
All right. We talked about Davion Franklin slowing down in that, but he came out very explosively, John. So what happened in round 1?
Well, he came out explosively, and that's what we call a guy who is a young fighter as far as MMA. This is his second fight, and that's an adrenaline rush.
Did he do enough to get the round?
Yeah, he did enough to win the round because when you saw that when Raz Hilton got to mount, he wasn't able to do a whole lot of damage. He hit him a couple times, but the power all went to what Davion did. But right now, Davion needs to at least stay in this half guard position, keep riding him, keep putting pressure on him, and get that air back. You can get that second win, but you've got to relax.
All right, guys, break. Let's go up. Let's go up.
We're going to stand him up.
You got to work.
50 seconds.
Come over here.
Round 2.
Hands up, ready? Hands up, turn around. You guys got a minute. Let's go, fight.
You can see how tired Davion is. Got his spit hanging off of his chin. Nice takedown again.
Got some nice ground and pound, man.
Well, when he goes, he goes.
Watch out for the up kick.
See, all of that explosive motion that is basically unnecessary. There's ways technically to get yourself in there without doing all of that fast, explosive motion, and that's what he's learned. But now he's in beautiful mount position.
10 seconds left.
That's what we call sucking wind.
Exhausted.
That made me tired.
Too big. Throwing it in. Love it. Good fight.
Bellator is proud to have partnered with the dedicated professionals at Hartford Healthcare for all of our COVID-19 testing and screening. For more information, go to hartfordhealthcare.org.
Really?
Josh, round 2. See, I'm going to let you...
Sharing the wealth is what that's called.
Well,
nice job.
You told me his feelings were hurt last night.
You're coming around.
I'm within your reach. I finally realized that. There's not enough social distancing for me not to get punched in the head by you.
You know, I'm going to give it to Franklin. I would say it's 2 rounds to none, Franklin. But Raz has an opportunity
seconds out, gentlemen. Seconds out.
to win this fight. He's got to do a little bit more when he's standing in front of him.
So 10-9, 10-9 on John and Josh's scorecard. 5 minutes remain in this heavyweight battle.
Okay, final round, gentlemen. Let's go. Final round, Dana.
Third and final round. Franklin in the red gloves, Hilton in the blue gloves. Both men were successful in their Bellator debuts.
You throw that guy. Don't put it up. Come on.
I think we're going to see Franklin try to go back to the well with the takedown, try and dominate at least half of the round as best he can.
Raz is going to have to get in and try to make something happen here. Oh, big swing and a miss.
I tell you that the wind that comes off of this can hurt you.
Almost messed up Josh's hair.
Yeah, it's going to take more than that, buddy. I got a lot of gel in this bad.
That was my point,
I feel like Franklin's come alive in this third round. He's almost got like he's got his second.
He got that second win a little bit. You can see the arms are not quite as heavy. That was a nice job of getting into the body of Raz Hilton.
Good change of level.
And even right here, if he uses good head position, especially against a guy who's a taller individual, it's easier to get that good head position and keep him long against the fence and just start using knees and beat him up against the fence. Nice spinning elbow. Nice kick to the body, too.
This is where Raz needs to push the pace now. He just exerted all that energy trying to land the knockout punch.
And another takedown.
Just a big difference in the wrestling abilities of both fighters, and that's really the difference right now that we have in the fight.
And that's why we haven't seen Raz engage, because each time he has, he's been put on his back. He's worried a couple times very violently.
You got 3 minutes to win this fight.
Watch the back of the head.
You hear Raz's corner telling him you have 3 minutes to win this fight. You need to get up to your feet, basically.
Damien, don't hit him in the back of the head again. I'll stand you up. Don't hit him in the back of the head. Keep going. Let's go. Fight.
But you got, you hear his corner yelling at him, you got to work, because you're just letting time tick away, and you need to get back to your feet because you're not mounting any offense from the bottom position here. Nope. And every second that goes by, Franklin's gaining more confidence. He's also getting some wind.
He's also getting them out.
Yep. Oh, heavy shot. And another one. He could finish it right here.
He could, and this is what he did. What you just saw, though, is exactly what, don't go crazy. Pick your spots, look for your target, and when you decide to unload that nice heavy elbow. If it's you go with a punch, elbows are the key in the mount position, in my opinion.
So, Josh, really exhaustion has brought Franklin into the proper pace. Hilton's in all kinds of trouble.
He is, but Davion is tired. His arms just got heavy again. Those punches, everything he put into it.
Rash, you take a deep breath. You got less than 2 minutes.
Right now, referee Dan Mergelada is not the friend of Davion Franklin. Because Davion tried to get him to stop it, didn't do enough.
Back of the head. Shot to the back of the head. Timeout called by the referee.
Damien, neutral corner over there.
Yes, sir.
Doc.
Dan Miragliotta called illegal strike to the back of the head.
So sorry.
Okay, what happened?
I honestly don't think Raz Hilton's going to be able to go on in the fight. They're going to end up calling this fight. But this is in the third round, Mike. And so what you're going to see is they're going to then go to the judges. The judges will score the portion of this third round that they saw. And then they will go to the other scorecards that they had for the first and second round, and will come to a technical decision.
And Dan Miragliotta had warned Davion Franklin earlier.
Twice.
Yep.
But this is when goalie. John and I have had these conversations a lot. Fighters don't know the rules, like of what to expect. Right now, I think fighters are thinking, like for Raz Hilton, he's probably down there thinking, I got an illegal blow to the back of my head. If I can't fight, I win. No, that's not.
Or I don't lose it.
Or I don't lose, or maybe it's a no contest, and that's not the case.
It is not the case.
And so in this situation, if he doesn't get up to continue, and they do go to the scorecards, he's lost his fight, or at least it appears to be that way.
Yep.
You know, so as a fighter, we've heard fighters say, "Hey, if I stop, if I can't continue, do I win?"
Do I win?
And you're like, what do you mean he can't continue? But in this situation, he's got to either get up and fight, or he's going to take an L.
Can he continue, Doc? No. No.
Okay. Doc says no.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
All right, can we get a
Fight is over.
Can we get the cut man?
Now, the real question is this. Does the referee, Dan Miragliotta, call that as an intentional foul? If he calls it an intentional foul, then he's going to DQ Davion Franklin, and the win will go to Raz Hilton. If he says that it was an unintentional, but the blow landed there, which is a foul, then he can go to that technical decision.
But John, he had turned his back, but he had been there for probably about 3 or 4 seconds, and then the illegal blow came. So it wasn't as if like he turned and the punch was being thrown at the same time. So I could see it being a DQ, to be honest.
Well, again, it's all going to come down to the way that Dan Miragliotta interprets what he saw.
But it's going to go to the scorecards because it was after the second round.
Dan
So we're going to go to the scorecards.
Which is saying that he says that it was accidental.
Right.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Here's a replay of the shot. You can see he's got the back. Shot comes basically straight down towards the back of the head, neck area. That is an illegal shot. It's a foul. You could also see Dan Miragliotta may take points from Davion Franklin at this time, which could affect those scorecards.
John, your job is a lot harder than I ever thought it was.
It's so easy, anybody can do it.
The one behind the head, they're both completely exhausted, so straight down.
John, Dan has obviously already made his
Go to
decision,
scorecards. That's the right way to do it.
could the referee go to the replay monitor to determine the outcome?
When you have a situation to use replay under the unified rules, it is what we call in a fight-ending sequence. This was a fight-ending sequence, meaning that the fight cannot, if you're going to go to that replay, the fight cannot be restarted. So you go to the replay saying, I know that the fight's over. Now I'm just going to verify, did I see what I believe I saw, and am I making the right call?
I don't think there's a reason to go to the replay. It was pretty obvious. Yeah. I think in this situation where was the hand down, was the hand not down, knee in the head, those kind of things, yeah.
He did say, as we heard, that they will go to the scorecards. So at this point, unintentional. Craig Jackson talking to Davion Franklin.
If I was a fighter, John, I'd be thinking to myself, it was an intentional strike, but I would just be looking to take points. I wouldn't be looking to. Is that an option?
What's that?
Calling it an intentional. I'm trying to get that word out. Intentional strike, but then only taking points instead of giving him a DQ. Is that possible?
No. If you're going to call that intentional, and then the fighter's in a position where the doctors say he cannot continue, he has been damaged with that strike, because that's what you're saying that damaged him, that is an automatic DQ.
See?
So if the fighter can continue, then you can take the point.
Yes.
It's like he wrote the rules.
So many ways for this to go, and none of them are fun.
I think it was a good fight for Franklin, though. In terms of he learned a lot.
Yes.
I think this is a big learning lesson. I think he really believed he was just going to get the takedown, ground and pound him out, big shots. He done in a minute 20 or less.
I agree.
And as the fight went on, he realized, oh, wow, I'm in this. And Raz Hilton's right in front of me, giving me the business.
You know, sometimes when you able to manhandle people in camp, in the gym, and anything that you do tends to give everyone problems, and you can just do it at will. Sometimes you'll come into the cage, it just doesn't work the same, and all that energy you put out, like Josh was talking about, big energy things, sometimes doesn't work out.
Coach Wayne, Coach Jackson are going to be able to say, all right, look at this, Davion. Take your time next time. Michael C. Williams has the official decision.
Hey, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, with the illegal blow determined to be unintentional, we will go now to the scorecards calculated up to the point of the stoppage for a technical decision. The score totals are as follows. All three judges, Doug Crosby, Jacob Montalvo, and Jaron Villel, all three seated the same 30-27. I'll have it for the winner by unanimous decision all day, Davion Franklin.
Exactly how you guys put it, exactly how you described it. Davion Franklin is 2-0 as we get to our favorite duo at the desk, Jen Brown and Chael B. Sun.
Thanks, Goldie. I like that favorite duo. It's day 2 for us up here at the desk. Last night we had great fights, and it promises to be better. You know why, Chael?
Tell me.
We had gold on the line tonight. That's right. We're going to find out who's crowned our bantamweight champ. We've got Juan Archuleta taking on Patchy Mix. Now let's talk Patchy Mix. He's undefeated, and if you look at his amateur record, he's 24-0. He's never lost a fight ever. Everybody says this kid's a real deal.
Oh, he most certainly is. Now, there's still things that he's going to experience tonight that he's never seen before. For example, the 5 rounds. That's a rare club. That's one that Archuleta is in. That can only come by doing it, being experienced in that. Mix is a finisher. He a lot of times gets out of there early. Now, he swears up and down. He's ready to go all night should that event come, but it's fair for us to question if he's right.
It absolutely is fair. And, you know, it seems, though, that every time Bellator puts a fighter in front of him that should give him trouble, he annihilates them. Now, will that be the case tonight? We talked about Juan Archuleta. You know, he's a former 4-division King of the Cage champ. He's won 19 of his last 20. You know, he's got the wrestling, he's got the jiu-jitsu, and he's got the power, Chael.
And not to mention, he's got a little experience with his opponent tonight. These guys used to work out together, Jen, and that's very relevant. What can you learn from those workouts? Probably not that much, but we say the mask is off. We now don't have to be scared getting in there. We don't just watch tape and worry. We know what we're getting into.
That's right. All right. Well, that is our main event. It's coming up at 10, 9 Central on Paramount Network. Let's get back to the fight action, Goldie.
Thank you very much, Jen. Our tail of the tape for our next preliminary matchup at 185. John, both men with identical 4-1 records.
Yes, sir.
Ty Guerder, Tukos, and here is Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, here at Bellator 246 prelims, we go now to the middleweight division, set for 3 5-minute rounds. We'll introduce first the blue corner. At 6'3", weighing in 186 pounds even. His professional record: 4 wins, 1 loss. By way of London, England, he fights out of Deerfield Beach, Florida, Tukos. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner. At 6'1", weighing in 184.2 pounds. As a professional, he too stands at 4-1, fighting out of Las Vegas by way of Honolulu, Hawaii, presenting Ty Savage Guerder. In charge, your referee, Todd Anderson.
Todd Anderson, our
We're gonna wait for the
referee.
paramedic.
Tokos representing Sanford MMA. Guerder representing Extreme Couture. Middleweight matchup scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Tokos. Guerder had moved to Dublin, California for the last fight that we talked about, but now he is back in Vegas, where he has been for the past many years.
I know. We're waiting on the paramedics to show back up, so keep your head in the game. We're waiting for the paramedics to come back in, and we're going to start. Keep your head in the game.
Tokos, when talking to our great researcher, Corey Brady, said, I utilize a switch stance. I'm comfortable either way, but I have a super bomb right hand. and I quote,
Super bomb.
super bomb right hand.
Is that like a big bomb?
Like a big brain, yeah, a little bit.
Got it.
I feel like that deserved air quotes.
Yes.
When it was
the
being
super bomb.
said.
Yes, it did.
Air quotes.
Born in London to a Brazilian mother and a Greek father, Tokos. Tuco is actually his middle name. Inspired by the Western movie The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Our main card on Paramount Network is a good one, and our main event is for the Bantamweight World Championship. The Spaniard, Juan Archuleta, and Patchy Mix. Guerder defeated in Honolulu back in December of last year. He said, that first loss stings in my soul.
Well, you got to figure that he had never even been out of the first round of a fight up until that fight. That fight went to 3 rounds, went to a decision, but never had even been out of the first round.
Are you ready? You ready? Hey, here we go. Tonight's Fight Clock brought to you by Geico. Blue gloves for Tokos, red gloves for Guerder. Ray Seffo, one of the trainers at Extreme Couture that works with Ty Guerder, the Hawaiian. Brad Tavares, great Hawaiian also there. Uriah Hall, and many, many spectacular fighters.
They look very similar.
They do.
Tavares and Guerder.
Yep. Virtually identical.
Let's not go that far.
Listen, they both have tattoos. Okay,
yes.
got it.
Okay, got it.
It's really interesting when you take a lot of the Hawaiian fighters ending up in Extreme Couture. You know, you're looking at guys that are really outstanding. They're getting great coaching from guys like Ray Seffo, Eric Nipsick.
Eric is in a phenomenal coach.
Outstanding. They have a great program there. Their pro day, what they do, just great training.
And Randy has turned the keys over to Ryan to run Extreme
Smartest
Couture.
move ever.
I texted Captain America, the Natural, when he did that, and he said, oh, he's ready. He deserves it. So, congratulations, Ryan Couture.
Shout out to Randy Couture. We hope you're feeling better after 4 broken ribs and a broken collarbone.
Yeah, he texted me back. He goes, I'm a little sore.
Just a little.
I'm a little sore. Yeah. That would be Randy Couture.
Really good, you know, clinch work fighting here by both guys.
Yeah, they're both jockeying for position, trying to fight for the underhook. Toko's doing a very good job of keeping his hips between the legs of Guerder and keeping him pressed against the
And he's
fence.
keeping that, when he gets the underhook, he keeps it high, which makes it hard for Guerder to switch it around.
3 of the 4 professional wins for Tokos have been by knockout, 2 of them in round number 1.
You can tell he's a powerful man because when they first came out, the first couple punches he threw, you could see Guerder back away like, oh, wow, that was a little bit harder than I'm used to.
Position, drive it low, good foot.
I talk about this all the time with John, and I talk about how when you have 2 guys, or at least one guy especially, that has a lot of power, the best thing to do is kind of press them to the fence, make them use their arms and their legs, whatever it is, pump in, make their muscles fill with blood to kind of slow things down. And I think that was a good job by both guys. We should start seeing them settle in and have some good combinations now.
Ty Guerder took a look in the mirror after his defeat back at the Fight for the Troops in Honolulu. He said, I wasn't fully prepared, not only physically, but also mentally.
Guerder would be just a little bit better off if he would hide those kicks behind his hands. Give him something to deal with first, then bring that kick up.
Or if you're going to throw it, as I call it, raw dog, if you're going to throw it,
Raw dog
if you're going to throw the kick, he's got to come back with a combination right after.
Right off it.
So many great fighters mentored on a daily basis by Henry Hooft, who you never want to get kicked by.
I don't know if it's just Henry Hooft. I really don't like to be kicked by anybody.
Yeah, but you got my point.
Yes.
Nice attempt at the flying knee by Ty Guerder.
You don't want to get kicked by Rob Kanan or Josh Thompson, that kind of thing.
I don't want to get kicked by Charlie Brown. It all hurts.
Under 90 seconds on the clock here in round number 1. Red gloves for Guerder, blue gloves for Tokos. Second Bellator fight for both men. You saw on the tail of the tape, they are 4-1 as professionals. Don't forget, you can catch up on past fights 24/7 now on our Pluto TV channel. Available on your favorite devices. Look for us in the sports category.
Nice job by Tyke Werder to get the underhooks on both sides, turned him around.
John, what I like what I'm seeing out of Gorder is you can tell everything is relaxed.
Exactly.
He's throwing his combinations, trying to throw them fluently, whereas Tokos is loading up, throwing heavy shots, and as the fight goes on, he'll tend to slow down a little bit more.
And shots to the body like he just took, it just adds a little bit, another nick that's going to take that gas away.
I think Gorder heard you. He did it again.
Tokos keeping that right hand pinned towards his chin, which put a smile on Gorder's face. He probably was entertained by your guys' excellent commentary.
He knows.
He knows.
One of the best things you're seeing. Relaxed.
Jared, no.
Hey, guess what, guys? We're moving.
That's right. Bellator MMA has officially joined the CBS Sports Network family, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports, known for its in-depth coverage of college football, basketball, as well as UEFA, the WNBA, PBR, the National Women's Soccer League, and more. Now welcomes Bellator MMA and their stable of world-class fighters like Chris Cyborg, Douglas Lima, Patricio Pitbull, Vadim Nemkov, Gegard Mousasi, Alimale McFarland, and Ryan Bader, just to name a few. Bellator MMA proudly debuts on CBS Sports Network Thursday, October 1st.
It's gonna be huge.
And later tonight, live on Paramount Network, Jen Brown visits with Bellator President Scott Coker, and they will talk extensively about the new home, CBS Sports Network, to Bellator MMA.
Ready? Ready? Hey!
The fight continues. Gorder in the red, Tokos in the blue. Round one, Big John.
I give the first round to Tyke Werder. I thought there was a lot of clinch work that was done, not a whole lot of striking off it, but when the strikes were landed, Werder was landing the heavier blows.
You with him, Josh?
No, I'm not.
Oh,
I'm going to give it to Tokos, even though I said Gorder was coming on and doing, and when I was liking what he was doing, but he didn't do enough to land the cleaner and better shots. I thought they did the most damage. This is what I was seeing from Tokos.
He was missing just like he is right now. You're exactly right.
Oh, I guess we'll find out when it all comes down to the judges. Nice straight left, though, right there by Gorder.
Who was that by?
Slow down. Calm down.
I'm going to run and grab the fight tees while you guys argue.
This is a really good matchup.
It is.
Both these guys are going after it, and both just tough, too. You can see it.
When you watch Tyke Werder, this is something you brought up last night, Josh, about parrying punches. Werder parries his opponent's punches, and you're not really fond of that technique.
No, because it was a horrible habit that I had. But no, what it does is it occupies your hands, so it takes you a split second longer to actually throw your combination afterwards if you want to be a counter puncher. If you watch guys like MVP or Raymond Daniels, they don't parry the punches. They just move real quick and then counter because their hands aren't being occupied. That's why they're so much faster. That's not why they're so much, but that helps with their speed also.
They remain locked and loaded, basically.
Yes.
Utilize body movement, head movement, little slip and rip.
Well, it's a train with a couple really good professional boxers. Robert Guerrero is one of them. He's like, look, every time your hands are being used not to throw punches, they're being occupied. It's 1 second less, so you're not able to throw a punch and counter something. So keep your hands free, move your heads, and then slip and throw. Makes it harder for people to get off on you if you're getting off on them.
Nice job right to mount. Toko's really doing a great job with positioning, taking his time.
Nice escape out.
That's what I was talking about last night with Kat Zingano. She did use that type of technique, turning her feet to the fence and rolling out to get out of that mount position.
That wall walk works really well. That was a nice grab of the fence right there by Tokos to keep that takedown from happening.
When you do that wall walk, though, Gorder did a great job. He didn't walk it slowly. He went fast and explosive, and so it caught Tokos off guard.
And a nice job on the break. Tokos lands a right hand.
Gorder's finding his mark with that straight left, and I really like what he's doing. He's setting up a little feint right hook, and then coming right down the pike with the straight left.
Another thing, Big John, as Josh pointed out, with parrying strikes, all of a sudden your opponent fakes a strike, you parry, your hands are down. Leaves yourself vulnerable.
Two nice shots right there by Ty Gorder, landing those. Tokos comes out strong, and then he starts to slow down after that first half of the round is over. And so Gorder's taking advantage of the fact that he is slowing his motions down.
So I look at it from a fighter's perspective, okay? Not Big John's perspective. Is what happens is when Tokos backs away, he did a little bit what Ryan Bader did in the Nemkov fight. He backs away with his upper body first and leaves his feet behind. So it's harder for you to recover. So when you back away, your head gets hit, or the guy can, all he's got to do is throw a second punch or a kick that finds his mark. And we saw that with Nemkov and Bader.
That was a nice kick to the body. You saw Toko shake his head like, no, that didn't hurt. Another beautiful straight left. Exactly. We don't acknowledge things that don't hurt us. We do acknowledge the ones that do.
But what I talked about in the first round is that you could tell Tokos was throwing everything that was extremely hard. Gorder was relaxed, staying composed, and was throwing his combinations, not like he was sparring, but there was intensity behind it, but it was in combinations and fluidity. So when it came out, he wasn't exhausted after, and you're seeing it now.
There we go. Turn into a hook. Keep your guard good. All right. Come on. Tight.
You see Gorder take a step back and take a big deep breath. Almost like catching a second wind and refocusing.
Yep. Final seconds of round number 2. It's a good battle. Flying knee. Nice right hand on the answer.
I wish I could jump that high.
Focus here. Finish.
Don't we all?
Gonna head to the final 5 minutes. Next Saturday, Showtime Boxing is back. Once beaten contender Erickson Lubin meets U.S. Olympian Terrell Gaucher in a headlining super welterweight title eliminator. That is Saturday, September 19th, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, on the home of champions. Showtime.
Fucking work.
Yeah?
That's what I do right now. The kick comes, he needs to come in hands first. You understand me? 5 minutes. Take this fucking 5 minutes. You hear me? Listen.
Yeah, everything's real. Everything's real. Seconds out.
Hey, keep using that inside kick for your distance.
But real. All right, you guys disagreed on round number 1. Josh, I'll let you start on the score for round number 2.
Well, thank you. You're welcome. Gorder round 2. So I think it's 1-1 going into to round 3.
Finally, Josh Thompson got something right. Yeah, it was Gorder that won the second round.
So you have Gorder up 2-0.
I do. And it's not that the first round wasn't close, but when you're looking at the guy who is landing the cleaner shots, that's what the judges are really looking at.
Good start here by Gorder. There's that little head movement in the counter that you were talking about when your hands are in position, Josh.
Nice body shot there by Gorder.
Clean.
That's right there when I just saw Tokos threw a little fake hook. Gorder just ducked underneath and then was able to throw right away instead of having to parry the hook or block the hook and then go.
If you want to become an elite striker, training with Sugar Ray Cepho is not a bad idea. Oh, big left hand followed by the knee. That hurt him.
Yeah, that looked like it dropped him.
Yep.
He's definitely hurt.
Yeah.
Fight! Leaning back.
We're done.
It is all over.
You're staggering, brother.
That knee staggered him, and Ty Gorder earns his first Bellator win.
Take a look at what happens here. Beautiful left straight hand down, and that knee comes up. He goes for the takedown off of it. You see Guerder pushed back. It's the reaction of the fighter. Watch this left hand. Bink. That is a beautiful shot right there. The knee comes up, really doesn't hit him hard. Grazes across, but it's his reaction coming off. Look, he's in just not conscious mode. He's been trained, and then he stumbles back. He's open to be hurt. That's why the referee stopped the contest.
I understand where you're coming from.
You want to say it's an early stoppage because you're wanting to see the final nail in the coffin.
But no, what I want to do is I want to give the fighter a chance to defend himself.
And he did. He let him have a chance to defend himself when he was on the ground. And then when he got up, he stumbles back, showing that he can't control himself. That was the difference.
Michael C. Williams to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, it comes to an end officially. Round number 3, 1:05 the time. The winner by TKO, Ty Savage Guerder.
Congratulations, Ty Guerder, with a savage stoppage in round 3. Jen Brown.
Well, thanks, Goldie. Coming up on Paramount Network, we've got our co-main event. It is the wily veteran in John Fitch taking on the jiu-jitsu specialist in Neiman Gracie. I love the way these guys match up. What are you looking forward to in this fight, Chael?
All right, Jen, look, John Fitch is very hard to rattle. He is good at getting in position. He's good at staying in the fight. But Gracie's a little bit different approach. He doesn't just favor submission. He looks at position followed by submission. He'll go take John Fitch down, or at least attempt to, like he did Ed Ruth. He will look to sweep John Fitch and get on top. I love that he is a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt who wants to be on top.
He does, and Fitch might find himself on his back, which is something he usually doesn't. Now, if you look at Fitch, he's durable, he's a grinder, like you said. He's 40, and look at his last fight. I mean, he went to a draw with Rory McDonald, the champ at the time, in the welterweight tournament. He's so difficult to finish.
Yeah, 42 years young, and by the way,
yes.
I do fully agree with you, Jen, that to get John Fitch out of there is going to take a lot of work, particularly in a 15-minute atmosphere. I just will suggest for you that Gracie will have the right plan, and that will be to not be underneath John Fitch.
Well, you know what I thought was interesting when Gracie told us? He said, when I was getting ready to start training, he goes, before I ever stepped into a dojo, I wanted to fight. I knew I wanted to fight. What does that make him special or different about the other Gracies? Is that he wasn't training for being a competitor and getting points in, competing jiu-jitsu. He was training to be a fighter, and that is different, they say.
Yes, I fully agree. Again, it comes back to he honors position followed by submission. So he's got all of those tools, but he also understands, should this go to the judges, I know how to look good.
Well, that's going to be our co-main event coming up on Paramount Network. Now let's get back to our final prelim of the night. Goldie?
Jen, Chael, thank you very much. Our tail of the tape for this middleweight fight. Pat Casey entering the Bellator cage for the 4th time. He is 29 years old. His opponent, the demigod, Daniel Madrid. And here is Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, we've got middleweight set now for 3 5-minute rounds. We'll introduce first the fighter out of the blue corner at 6'3", weighing in 184.4 pounds. He is professional record 17 wins, 6 losses, fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona.
Take your moment. Take your moment.
Madrid. Across the cage's adversary, fighting out of the red corner at 5'8", weighing in 185.6 pounds. As a professional, 6 victories, 2 defeats, fighting out of Springfield, Mass, presenting Pat, the Gorilla Ninja Casey. Judge of the action, your referee, Jason Herzog.
Jason Herzog, our referee. Pat Casey, this is his 4th straight fight at 185, but you saw on the tail of the tape, Madrid much taller and has a huge reach advantage. Dan Mergliata stepping in as our official for this middleweight contest, and we are underway. Tonight's Fight Clock brought to you by Geico. Casey and the red gloves. Daniel Madrid, 17 professional wins, making his Bellator debut. He is in the blue gloves. From the state of Arizona, a state that has multiple high-level MMA schools, Daniel Madrid hasn't taken that. He's gone on his own, basically. He's been involved in MMA for over 14 years, and he's a black belt under a good friend of mine, Jay Pages, who is a 3rd-degree black belt under 12-time world champion Caio Terrace. 14 wins by...
Oh, it was a beautiful left hand. Beautiful straight left. That stung. We've seen Daniel Madrid before. He is an outstanding fighter. He's just getting better. His submission game is outstanding.
You and I were in Phoenix when he defeated Seth Baczynski in the LFA. A combined 30 wins, 30 finishes, 26 submissions for Madrid. He will switch his stance.
Very nice straight left on that last punch. But what he did was just really relax, threw it nice and smooth. It's the ones that you don't have to load up and throw that do the most damage, and they get there so much faster too because your opponent doesn't see it.
And you're relaxed. You just threw it again, clean, right hook. But the one thing you really have to be impressed with, Josh, is he hit him. You saw the stagger. He didn't rush. He didn't jump in. Nice and relaxed. I'll just go back to what I was doing. That shows the maturity that he has as a fighter right now.
Professor Jay Pages told me, and I quote, he said, Daniel has fought his heart out to get to where he is today.
That was a nice overhand right, leaning back.
I was just about to make a comment about that, is that Madrid, when he throws, he has to punch down because Casey's shorter. When you do that, you leave your chin in the air sometimes, and that's why Casey was able to land that overhand.
Legion MMA. Mario Velez, his head coach. One of his training partners, the Season 8 winner of The Ultimate Fighter on Spike TV, Efrain Escudero.
The guy that Daniel Madrid has always reminded me of every time that I've watched him is he is very similar in style to Luke Rockhold, the guy you're very familiar with, Josh. The way he moves, how he is, his agility on his feet, very loose, very calm, and then when he gets to the ground, has a ground game that most people just don't understand.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing with Rockhold and with Madrid as well. When their grappling is drastically underestimated, I think. When they get down there, people don't realize how good they are because they flow so well on the feet. Yep.
5 rear naked chokes, 4 guillotine, 2 arm bar, and omoplata, a triangle, and inverted triangle.
So he's had a couple submissions.
Yeah, he's had a couple. 14 as a professional.
Wow.
Don't forget, top of the hour, we are live on Paramount Network. The Spaniard, Juan Archuleta, collides with Patchy Mix for Bellator Bantamweight Gold, plus Liz Carmouche makes her long-awaited debut. 9 Central on Paramount Network from right here inside the Mohegan Sun Arena. Good start for Madrid, utilizing that reach advantage, that size advantage. Casey desperately needs to get inside.
Well, Casey, I appreciate what Pat Casey is doing because he's trying to pick his moments. He's trying to see that counter time when Madrid extends, that he can become that burst of energy and bring that hand over the top, which is hard for Madrid to see. It's just that right now he's having a lot of problems with that length.
Yeah, he also doesn't want to get too close because Madrid will be able to get on the head, the front headlock, or the guillotine position, or whatever it is to potentially get the fight to the ground.
Pat Casey's professional debut was right here in the Mohegan Sun Arena back in 2018 as a lightweight. He defeated Tyler Hamilton by unanimous decision.
That was a nice straight right hand that Pat Casey landed.
But it runs back into what I was saying, is that Madrid's got to punch down, so that hand, he's got to keep that chin tucked, otherwise that'll be there all night.
Final 10 seconds of round number 1.
Finish, 5 seconds.
matchup.
John, great advice by both corners.
It was great advice, but there was one thing that they both said the same as you're letting him walk into you too much. Both of them saying that. I thought that was a little. I understood when Casey's corner said it. I really didn't understand with Madrid, because he's been the one that's really been dictating where the fight's at and the pace of it.
Fourth time in the Bellator cage for Casey. Fourth time he has fought for Bellator right here. Madrid trying to set up that straight left.
Casey dipping his head down every time he throws the overhand right, and I'm just thinking to myself,
Just waiting for the knee to come up.
The knee or at least the head kick, you know?
Yeah. I was just seeing it every time you see his head dip down and he's throwing that big overhand right.
Nice job, Josh.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Because he just threw it, John.
He came back thinking there was another fight, and then it was...
And when you have a 6'3" fighter against a 5'8" fighter, that knee doesn't have to raise very high. First Bellator fight for Madrid. Casey counters, ducking that head down and swinging hard.
It's going to be interesting to see Patchy if he doesn't get a hold of him when he's dry. What happens?
To reach down for that kick a little bit.
What is he able to stop? Is he able to stop Juan's like in and out, pick you up, drop you? Yeah, like just the pace.
2 minutes into round 2. Top of the hour, we start at 1:55 with Diggs and Campos. Midway point of this fight.
Surprised to see Madrid actually switch his stance into an orthodox stance, because he was doing really well with being the southpaw, was causing Casey problems, and Casey kept actually going into his power.
Yeah, I like to see Madrid go back to the southpaw stance and then start going to that liver kick or that inside leg kick to set up his hands. His kicks are good. His
Really
kicks
good.
are phenomenal.
Very composed fighter.
A lot of experience, 36 years old. 24th professional fight. 17 wins, 17 finishes.
I also feel like he needs to take a page maybe out of Machido's book with that little up kick right up the middle, either to the belly or right to the face, because Casey keeps dipping a little bit or coming straight down when he throws that overhand right. It's there, that as well as the head kick.
Well, he's reaching down for that kick too.
You can almost measure exactly where Casey's head's going to be. Once he dips his head, you know that right hand's coming, and you know exactly where that head's going to be.
What I don't understand is he just threw that kick for like the 3rd time to the body, and Casey's caught it twice and countered with the straight right. Just stop doing it.
And with the size difference, that straight right goes right into the chest of Daniel Madrid.
But that's been the only offense Casey's been able to amount.
For sure.
You know that's really the only good shot that he's landed throughout this round. Stop throwing that kick, or at least get away from it for a little bit and then maybe come back to it later at the end of the 3rd.
Casey has good wrestling. He normally takes guys down to the ground. You can tell that he has scouted what Daniel Madrid does and how good he is on the ground. So he doesn't want to go to the ground with him.
That was like a nice little check and then left hook by Casey.
Madrid played baseball. He was a catcher. Played at the junior college level. Good athlete who has been involved in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and MMA for a long time. That's a good kick off the forearm and a cut by the left eye of Pat Casey.
Casey needs to be very careful about blocking kicks like that just with the one arm. Not just with that one arm. It'll block it, but it can also break it.
Randy Couture. Happened to Randy. Happened to Rich Franklin against Chuck.
Sit down. Mouthpiece out. You're cutting a little, it's not, it's real Nick. Real Nick, little Nick. Here's your water.
Pat 21, Pat. Pat 21.
John, that was a lot closer round.
It was a lot closer round. I thought
You're doing
I thought the one thing that Casey did,
you're letting him set.
he wasn't going backwards
And
near
you're
as much. He
leaning.
was using
Leaning.
lateral
Don't lean.
movement, and he was actually
Footwork.
trying to
All
go
right.
forward
Don't lean over
a lot
your
more,
body.
which tended to give
Footwork, he's
Madrid a
gonna
little bit of
You're doing better when you're pushing
Yeah,
him
the only
back.
offense I
You're
felt like he
quicker
really
than
mounted
him, so you
those
can
off
touch
of
him.
all the
Get
time
up.
he caught the
Touch,
kicks.
get up.
So 3 or 4 times.
Right, you hurt. You're hitting him. If you hurt him,
Here's
finish.
the kick coming up to the body.
You're looking
you see
good.
him
Your
catch it.
movements are good. Head
Right
movements
there
are
is
good.
telling you right away
Feet
he's
first.
just letting it go, not trying to go forward with it, not going for the takedown. It's obvious that Pat Casey feels that his his road to victory is through big punches and hurting Madrid.
Third and final round.
All right, third and final.
Been a little while since Daniel Madrid has seen round 3. 6 of his last 8 wins were in round 1. The other 2 in round number 2. Even when finished, it was early on in the second round and the first. But conditioning, not a concern at this point.
Now you got to give it to Pat Casey. Pat Casey's coming on 3 days notice, and he's not winded. Obviously, he keeps himself in shape. He looks good.
He's fought now 4 straight at 185, John.
I think that, when we first saw him, it was at 155. And if you recall the fight, he won the fight on a decision, but he ran out of gas. And it was because of that weight cut. It was too much weight that he lost, and putting out the energy, it just took it out of him. And by the end of the fight, he was having a hard time. So, you get these things where you try to go by body type and frame and things like that. Some guys, you're going to be the shorter guy in the heavier weight class, a Darion Wynn, guys like that. Don't try to lose so much weight that you get down into what is like the classified weight class for your frame. Sometimes fight up, fight healthy, you'll fight better.
Second fight in the Bellator cage was at 170. Another victory for Casey. Back down to 55. That's when he had his setback here inside the Mohegan Sun Arena.
See the back of Casey's leg. His leg has taken some abuse from those leg kicks, but Madrid's not going to the well too much. The last one had a real effect. Oh, nice kick.
Up the middle like you talked about, Josh.
Well, he question marked that kick.
John, I was going to ask you about that earlier because Pat Casey comes down with that hand a lot of times with the kick. He was going to do it again there. That question mark kick can be very dangerous. Opponent drops his hand and it could be nighty-night.
And again, we talked about Luke Rockhold. You talk about a guy that really threw that well.
Yeah.
That was the guy.
Approaching the midway point of the third and final round.
If I was Madrid, I'd be going more to that lead leg.
Good body kick.
I mean, like that?
Yeah, but you see Casey wincing now, and he's kind of easing the weight up off of the leg.
And also having a hard time with his balance because of his.
You can tell he can't put a lot of pressure on it because now when he throws his punches, there's not as much behind it, and he's walking barefoot versus stepping heel toe.
The Gorilla Ninja, Pat Casey, Springfield, Massachusetts.
That was a nice left hook with a straight right.
Very nice left.
Very nicely done. Casey's got to make this a dogfight now if he wants to win this fight.
Yeah, he definitely has to get after it, put more pressure. You're asking a lot of a guy, coming in 3 days notice, been in that cage now for basically 13 minutes, 13 and a half minutes.
He's in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
You had already commented about the fact that he came in on 3 days notice and he looks good. He looks physically, he looks good. I mean, he's just a step behind. That may be because he didn't have a camp.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I got to tell you, I've seen guys with full camps not look this good.
He's a gamer. Caught that last kick, not that one, the one before, but because of the size difference, wasn't able to counter as effectively as he would have liked to.
I'm surprised that Madrid hasn't come right up the middle with the flying knee or some sort of knee at the middle.
I think one of the big mistakes that Madrid did in this fight is too many singles. Not enough combinations, not enough.
Oh! There's that push kick right up the middle, right to the face, but then also that inside leg kick is what did the damage originally. He couldn't put any weight on it, so then Madrid changed it up and went right up the middle. Nicely done.
17 wins, 17 finishes for Daniel Madrid. 10 seconds away from this one going the distance.
Nice job of Pat Casey trying to make him pay for that kick.
Fun fight, good fight between Casey and Madrid. As it goes the full 15 minutes, it is now in the hands of the judges. 3 days notice for Pat Casey, who, outside of fighting, works with high school students with autism, which is awesome, Pat. Thank you for that. That's very cool.
Yeah, I think Friday had to be here Monday to quarantine. Oh, Jesus. Christ. Well, you guys did a good job, and you did a good job. Thank you, man.
John, there was something I wanted to talk to you about. We talked about yesterday. You said, what's the most underutilized weapon? And he said, and you said the jab. Yeah. And I said the calf kick. And this is a situation where you have someone like Madrid who has beautiful kicks. And we're going to see some of them right here.
There you go.
Nice
Talk about that kick.
Beautiful leg kicks, nice body kicks, push kicks all night. Not one calf kick that I see.
No.
And I didn't understand it, but I like this. You saw this after that inside leg kick there. You could see that Casey had an issue putting some weight back down on it. And then Madrid was able to come up right up the middle after that. That had a nice push kick to the face.
Love you, Lila. Love you, Jonas and Leo.
I tip my hat, though, to Casey.
Oh, so do I. I personally think he's going to end up losing the decision here, but you really have to appreciate what he did in this fight, who he did it against, and on 3 days' notice, man, just phenomenal performance.
Absolutely.
Madrid with a shout out to his sons Jonas, Leo, and his daughter Lila.
Yes, sir. My home, baby. My home. Where I belong. Not just a jiu-jitsu guy, I just train it.
Gotta have that attitude.
Absolutely.
And he was right. He's not just a jiu-jitsu guy.
Michael C. Williams with our official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to your judges' scorecards. Your first judge, Dave Peabody, scores at 29-28. He sees the fight for Casey. Your second judge, Doug Crosby, scores the fight 30-27. He sees the fight for Madrid. Your third and final judge, Dave Torelli, scores it 29-28 for the winner by split decision, Daniel Demigod Madrid.
Congratulations, Daniel Madrid, victorious in his Bellator debut. Top of the hour, we are live on Paramount Network, our main event for Bantamweight Gold. See you in a couple minutes.
If you're a fight fan, you've got to love this. Live and free on Paramount Network. Next, Bellator's Bantamweight World title is on the line when Juan the Spaniard Archuleta battles undefeated phenom Patchy Mix. Bellator MMA, live, next on Paramount Network.